This is one of my very early sessions with Wells. He has been conditioned to the clicker and the target, and today we are starting working on the no pressure back up. So what I like to do if I'm doing it out in the open is I usually try to ask them to step forward with the target. And then as soon as I'm done rewarding, I'm going to use the target kind of back by his chest or shoulder, and then also my hand to point at his chest. And sometimes I'll touch just like their fur. And typically, because they're at this point usually associating your hand with food and touching the target with getting a click and a reward, a lot of times what this will do is it will influence them to rock back. And you can capture that moment with your click to reward that rock back or step back. Now he has rocked back a few times and I should have clicked, but it's challenging when you're standing in front of them to see that. So I'm just kind of waiting, and it's really tempting to keep saying back. He had a little rock back there. But I would challenge you to say it once and kind of hold your position and just wait. That waiting can be really challenging. But if you can do it a few times, it gives them the space to figure out exactly what you mean, and it makes the learning happen a little bit faster and a little bit more clearly. A lot of times if you continue to cue and keep cueing over and over again, it kind of desensitizes that cue, and then your cues don't become very clear. So he got distracted by some horses off in the distance, and then started to walk forward. And notice it's really tempting to kind of block their path, and sometimes I will a little bit, but he was still able to walk past me, and I just kind of let him walk off. So I give him a minute to go explore, and then I kind of use my target to bring him back to this space. I also turned him a different direction, so that when I'm asking him to back, he's actually backing towards the gate, which he's a little bit more likely to do. So if you feel like there's a way that you can set your horse up for success because there's a direction they prefer to go, a lot of times that can be really helpful, especially in the beginning, to kind of set them up. If you know they're already probably going to go a certain direction, maybe set them up aimed that way. So I'm doing the same thing as before. I'm pointing at his chest, saying back, and I'm kind of using my target and my hand back behind his nose to hopefully influence him to rock back, to either look at the target or touch the target or sniff my hand. And then every time he rocks back or steps back, I'm marking and rewarding it. And you'll notice I occasionally have him step forward. Some of that is just to keep him in the camera frame, but also it kind of breaks it up a little bit and gives him a little break, because coming forward towards the target is something that he's able to do a little bit better. So we're getting a few more steps at a time, and he's picking this up pretty quickly. I think some of it is that there's not a lot of grass to distract him because the ground is covered in snow. And he has really just, this is maybe our third session doing anything. We've done a little bit with following the target. And so now I'm not even using that target to ask him to step back. I'm just pointing and saying back. And it could be that he had learned backing up before as well, so that could be helping us out here. You can tell I'm pretty pleased with how he's doing. Usually with the first time teaching them to back, you get a step at a time. And it takes a while to ramp up to more steps. And what I like to do is get them to where they will back 10 consecutive steps, and that's usually my goal. You can obviously create a little more duration on that. But for my purposes, for a lot of the training stuff that I do, 10 steps backing at once is plenty. I love to use backing for agility, backing over things, backing up hills, backing between things. It really kind of helps with their body and spatial awareness because their hips are leading, and that's where they tend to lack the most awareness of their body. So anyway, this was our session and I'm super pleased with it. I hope that it's helpful for you and your horse learning to back.